And welcome back, everyone. My name is Tyler Boronski. You're watching my YouTube channel, TBL's 512, home for your interviews with professional athletes and celebrities. Today, my guest, you probably know him on the hit show Shameless as Tommy, but you've probably seen him on a lot of other hit TV shows and movies as well that you might not even have realized. So, my man right here.
I hope so.
Oh yeah, definitely. My man right here, Michael Patrick McGill. Mike, thanks for coming on, and how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well, Tyler. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing well, and I know you have a really busy schedule today, so I really appreciate you coming on and doing this quick interview, and I know the fans will appreciate it as well. So
Absolutely. Thank you.
awesome. Well,
Lake Winnebago in Appleton, Wisconsin.
hey, we got a great view for this, so I like this. I like this setup right here.
Ah,
Good deal. All the way in Wisconsin right now, so
That's
awesome, man. All right, well, we'll dive into some shameless questions first because I know that's where a lot of fans know you from. Shameless
Sure.
just got back on this past Sunday for their 8th season.
Season 8 just premiered last Sunday. Yeah, absolutely. We're rocking and rolling.
I mean, 8th season, that's amazing. That's amazing feat to be on that long on television.
As a matter of fact, just yesterday we found out that ShowTime officially renewed us for season 9. So there will be
Perfect.
more fun times ahead at the Alibi Room.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much for the support from everyone.
That's what people are going to like to hear. I like that. I mean, for you, Mike, when you first signed up for the show, could you foresee the show having such a buzz that it still has? And for your character as well, Tommy, to be such a fixture on the show for this long?
Well, I'll tell you what, I've been knocking around Hollywood for about almost 20 years now, and the golden carrot that every actor chases is the recurring role. Oh, this could be a recurring role. This could be a recurring role. And there's been every single time I've done a role in the past that could, quote unquote, be a recurring role, it never recurred. You did your one episode and that was it. So when I originally went into audition for Tom, it was 2 lines, and it was the first episode they shot after the pilot. And I went and auditioned for John Levy, who cast all of John Wells' programs, ER, and Citizen Baines, Third Watch, all the great John Wells programs, West Wing. And he's kind of got a reputation for being a tough nut to crack, but since most of John Wells' programs are set in Chicago, and I'm a native of the Midwest, I'm from Wisconsin, I always did well. So I went and auditioned for John, and then they wanted me to come back a week later and audition again for John and John Wells. And part of me was like, do I really have to come back for 2 lines? I was thinking, oh boy, I'm above it all. Well, I'm glad I did, because obviously now I've done about 60 episodes of Shameless, and of course, you never think that it's going to go. So it's been really nice and really rewarding. Luckily, Nancy Pimentel is one of the executive producers on Shameless. Someone reminded her of me in the writer's room towards the end of the first season, and then they started writing me back in.
Oh man, that's perfect.
The rest is history.
That's a great story. I love that. I love that a lot. So one of the creator of Shameless, Paul Abbott, and his crew, he's a very successful screenwriter and producer. And what really makes Shameless so different from all these other shows is they really push the boundaries on things. I mean, Paul and his crew really seem to, just like expand the boundaries. If the fine line is right here, they seem to have no problem crossing it or not looking back. Really,
way over the line.
Oh yeah.
Well, this version of Shameless is actually, it's kind of like The Office, where it was originally based on a British show, and Paul actually this family was based on his family, and his character of Lip, to my knowledge, was based on Paul.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Himself. So when they originally did the American pilot, it was pretty spot on copy of the British pilot.
Yeah.
And then as the years go on, same thing like with The Office. If you go back and look at The Office's British pilot and American pilot, they're pretty much dead on script wise, and then everybody goes off on tangents on their own, and John Wells and the writers and the executive producers have you get scripts and you look at it, and I'm not an easily offended guy, but sometimes I'll get scripts and I think, ooh, somebody's going to have a problem somewhere with this one. But as an actor, I mean, I'm sure when Bill Macy gets his scripts and he cracks them open, you just have to look at it and think, man, boy, you're going to have some fun playing this. You know? And same thing could be said with Steve Howe, who always knocks it out of the park. It's very funny. All the characters, and don't get me started on Emmy Ross and how she's never been nominated for an Emmy, let alone won multiple Emmys, is truly shocking.
Yeah, I agree.
The writers really put her through the ringer, and she delivers each and every time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I agree 100% right there. It's perfect you mentioned Bill Macy, William H. Macy, because a lot of your scenes is with him in the alibi room, along with Steve Howe as Kevin. And William Macy is one of my personal favorite actors, just because I love him from Fargo back in the day in 1986.
Absolutely.
I love that film a lot. So, from your time working with William, I mean, what is it about him that makes him such a high-quality actor? I mean...
Well, it's... As you work in this business, it's pretty easy to see why someone is number one on the call sheet. Usually people are number one on the call sheet for they can handle a lot of dialogue, they can process it quickly, and they're professional.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many times where Bill has, he'll go off on some tangent rant in the bar, and in the script it's a page and a half straight of dialogue. And, he'll kind of say, I don't have this down, And maybe he stumbles through the first take. By take two, the guy's locked in.
Oh, my gosh.
He just owns the character. To me, for me, and guys like Jim Hoffman plays Kermit, and Steve, and Shanola, it's like you get a front row seat to watch one of the best in the business. It's like getting a front row seat for an acting class while you're on the job. It's great. And he's terrific. I tend to let him control the interaction with us in between takes, because usually I've got my 4 or 5 lines to throw in from the peanut gallery, and he's got 4 or 5 pages worth of dialogue. He brings ukulele into the set, and he strums and plays in between takes, but he's a super nice guy and a fantastic actor.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Quick question: does he ever act like Frank off camera, or is he only staying character for the moment?
I mean, sometimes Frank is so outrageous that you probably tend to stay in character a little bit in between takes if you're not going to if there's not going to be a lot of time in between in between setups for lighting and whatnot. But he's a pretty mild-mannered guy. But boy, it's fun watching him play Frank.
Sure, definitely. Really, yeah, most definitely. Now, your character Tommy brings a lot of comedic relief to the show, and like we've touched on, you and Bill Macy and Steve Howe, you guys, all the scenes are great and really funny together in the alibi room. So, what do you enjoy most about portraying Tommy? What is the most fun about playing that character for you, really?
Well, it's just like you said. I mean, we've hit upon where we've had the good fortune of having pros and fantastic actors like Steve and Shanola and Bill, Jim, Isadora, who plays Svetlana.
Yeah.
Noel Fisher, when he was on the show. Whoever comes into the bar. I got a little spoiled because the first few seasons it was mainly Bill and Steve and I. And then as the seasons have progressed, other characters have come into the bar, and which is nice. I never got to work with Jeremy that much, who plays Lip, until season 5 when he came to work for me.
Yeah, I remember.
And yeah, I mean, that kid's. I mean, the kids especially. When they started the show, they were in their early to mid-teens. Now now that a lot of them are late teens, early 20s, but for the kind of emoting that they have to do at such a young age, really, really solid, impressive actors. So for me, the fun part is just coming to work and knowing that working with them is going to up my game, and knowing that I have to be on point too, because I don't want to be the guy who's holding up production and slowing things down. But yeah, we have a lot of fun on set. We try to bust each other up. There's a lot of ad-libbing that doesn't make it into the show, but keeps it fresh for us, doing multiple takes and whatnot.
Gotcha.
But, yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Now, we'll get away from Shameless a little bit because I know you have, like I mentioned in the intro, been on a lot of other TV shows and movies.
Trying, man. I'm trying, you know? I've got 2 sons that I have to put through school.
I looked through your IMDb page, man. Those credentials right there, all those credits, it's amazing some of the projects you've worked on over the years.
I've been pretty lucky. I mean, I work probably more frequently than a lot of my other actor friends out there. I think it's just because I'm a blue collar type, and you figure that on early, fairly early on. When you first move out to LA, I'm going to show everybody my range. I can do all kinds of different roles, and then you realize how many people are truly out in LA trying to pursue it, and then you think, okay, well, chances are I'm going to get hired as a cop, or a security guard, or a taxi driver, something like that. It's always going to be a blue collar role. That's fine. Like I'm probably never going to get cast as the chief of surgery or the head of the law firm, but they've got other fine actors who can take that part. So, but I'm fine being a cop, and being a cop, I've got to work with Clint Eastwood. I've got to work with James Spader, William Shatner on Boston Legal. So, I would prefer it to be the cop who's a series regular on a cop show.
Yeah, of course.
I'll take what I get. I got to work a couple of episodes of the Amazon show Bosch with Titus Welliver, who's just a phenomenal actor, and talk about trying to raise your level up to play with the big dogs. He's great.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now, how is that different though for you when you're shooting maybe just one episode for a show rather than obviously your role on Shameless? Because do you really get to know your other castmates that well, and do you need to have watched the show prior, to be honest?
Sometimes you're a hired gun, and you're coming in a lot of times just for a day, maybe for a week if you're lucky, and you might be 2 ships passing in the night with the lead actors. Maybe you don't even work with the lead actors. So obviously that's one of the nice benefits about Shameless is you've got a sense of family and community with the cast and crew after eight seasons. But I mean, hey, I'm always happy to get a gig. I to this day I feel like probably Mark Harmon is the nicest, most accommodating star that I've had the chance to work with. I worked a week on NCIS, and he really rolled out the red carpet for me. And I was dating my wife at the time, and happened to be on the week of her birthday. We were shooting. Okay. She came out to the set. And they took pictures with her and had dinner with her and signed a script for her. I got major brownie points that week. So I'll always be grateful to Mark Harmon and the cast for that. But yeah, I mean, and truly, it just sets the tone. I mean, and these days, I know people are buried in their phone, and social media, and sometimes my wife will say, "Oh, I was working with so and so." I said, I didn't really get a chance to talk to him much. So, and I get it. People's lives are busy and whatnot, but that was really nice. I mean, Mark Harmon would sit in between takes in the director's chairs and tell me stories. Moonlighting was one of my favorite shows when growing up, and he had a nice arc on that. So I was pumping him for stories about Bruce Willis and Sybil Shepherd and whatnot. So yeah, it's always great to work on anything, but it's nice if you get a little recurring role on some things and you're there for more than an episode. You get to foster a little bit longer and deeper relationships.
Sure, yeah.
But believe me, man, I'll gladly work. I'll gladly work on whatever you're throwing my way.
I like that. That's the way you gotta be. Now you've done a lot of pretty much all different types of roles with a lot of comedic roles, and then you've done a lot of drama work. What would you say, maybe just for you personally, or if you notice from actors in general, is the most difficult, I guess, emotion to display on camera? What's the toughest?
Man, for me, it's always believably coming up with the waterworks, and that's what makes, actors like Emmy Rossum so truly impressive. I mean, they can turn it on like that on a dime, and you believe it. I remember I was working on a short-lived show for CBS last year, Pure Genius, and a dad whose son was, had the life-altering illness and was having a breakthrough so he could walk again. And the actress who played my wife was knocking it out on the emoting, and it was like she had an onion underneath the camera at all times. It was crying, and I was, I wear contact lenses, so I was having a hard time getting the moisture going. But Yeah, I mean, what's the most fun to play always is being a jerk or a dick. That's why.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's probably why I got Tommy. He's kind of, he's a lovable lug, but he's probably be considered an a-hole by most people outside the alibi. Actually, by most people inside the alibi room too. But hey,
Yeah.
it is what it is. He stays true to his personality.
Sure, most definitely. All right, well, last couple questions for you, Mike.
Sure.
I know this one you probably get a lot, just being a professional actor. I'm sure the most asked question you get is maybe how do I break into the acting industry from people? So, for people,
honestly, this day I feel
go.
like I missed the boat a little bit. I feel like there's so much content being provided on YouTube I mean, when I was in high school, one of my best friends had a camcorder, so we would run around and do videos just for ourselves on video tapes and whatnot. Yeah, these days you guys can grab your iPhones, iPads, whatnot, and throw it up on YouTube or Instagram and get 1 million followers and get hits, and then movie studios say, hey, we're gonna hire him. He's a good interviewer. We're gonna hire him, and that's how you get discovered. So I did it the fashioned way and just moved to Hollywood and started pounding the pavement. I'm still working on it. I'm still working on being an overnight sensation. They say it takes 10 years. I got almost 20 in, so anytime now. But I would say just keep your eyes peeled. I mean, even stuff, if you're just starting out, you could probably find casting notices on like Craigslist, Backstage.com. There's always going to be projects going on. And just, if you're a background or a day player or whatnot, you're trying to move up, just try to stay present and try to stay alert when you're on set. I know these days it's so hard. I'm guilty of it too. You get your head buried in your phone and you're caught up in social media and whatnot. But if you got your eyes and ears open, you're going to soak in a lot of stuff, a lot of things being on sets, how sets run. And believe me, that stuff helps you in the long run.
Awesome.
It really does.
Awesome. I do have one question. Is
Sure.
kind of off topic. I didn't tell you about this ahead of time, but I've been thinking about this recently because the new season of Stranger Things just came out. Those kids are really popular right now. Those Stranger Kid boys and Millie Bobby Brown as well. There's been talks about how maybe some fans were waiting outside like Finn Wolfhard's I guess hotel or something like that, and how he didn't sign autographs or something like that for them. What is your take on maybe giving these child actors maybe some space? Because you do know as you get more famous, it does come with the territory of fans whatever want to meet you guys, but where that boundary is for them to maybe not. I mean, these are just kids at the end of the day, really.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I've got 2 boys, 4 and 7, and a lot of times people say, "Oh, you should get your son into the business and get him." And I think, if that's something he wants to do, and he comes to me and says, "Hey, Dad, I really want to do what you do," then I'm all for it. But on the other hand, I'd like him to grow up, enjoy his childhood too. And I think, especially in this day and age where everybody's on top of everything on the internet and following you around and whatnot. You just end up living in a bubble, and you want to have some sort of anonymity growing up, or just like you want to be able to go out, like if you want to go out play at the park, or hey, I want to go to McDonald's and grab lunch. You don't want to have to worry about being hounded or somebody's taking a video of you, scarfing down fries and whatnot. So I'm all for it. I mean, especially being a parent myself now, I'm all for giving the kids this. But hey, after you're 18 and you're considered an adult, then hey, if you want to pursue this business, it's a great. I love my job, but there's a lot of things in this business that could put people off, and it's kind of something that goes with the territory. Me being a grinder character actor, I don't have to worry about that stuff. Somebody like Bill Macy or Emmy Rossum, it's probably hard for them to go out in public, to go make a target run.
Yeah.
They probably have to have somebody else do it for them, quite honestly.
Wow.
Whereas I can just go knock it out, and every once in a blue moon, somebody will will recognize me, and that's great. You know,
Sure.
if they're fans of the show, I love it. But yeah, I mean, somebody like a George Clooney or a Brad Pitt or something like that. I mean, it's just got to be nonstop. So
Yeah.
I get it. I definitely get it, and especially with kids. You want to leave kids alone a little bit. I mean, I'm really happy that the show's doing well for them, and and probably going to do wonders for their career. But you want to let people grow up a little bit and enjoy a little bit of private life as well. Not everything has to be under a microscope 24/7, 65.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for answering that real quick. I was interested to hear your take from that. All right, just final thing for you. I know we mentioned Shameless is back, on Sundays now on ShowTime.
Shameless, yeah, second episode will be this Sunday, so we're just getting into the season. I think the longtime fans will be really happy. 9 of the 12 episodes this season. And we also did what I thought was a really funny promo with John Taffer from Bar Rescue.
Okay.
It's up and running. So if you've got any fans out there who like John Taffer, he was terrific, and I really enjoyed working with him.
Perfect. Yeah. I like that.
And let's see what else is coming up. Oh, there's a YouTube Red show called Lifeline, and it stars Zach Gilford, who played Matt Saracen on Friday Night Live. He's the lead. It's an 8-episode YouTube Red series. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, is one of the executive producers on it. And I did 4 of the 8 episodes as a member of the company Lifeline. It's kind of like a time cop or a time travel premise, where Lifeline is an insurance company that if you hire them, they will prevent your accidental death. They can go 33 days into the future and save you right before your death. And I play a character named Spencer, who works for the Lifeline company. A lot of good actors on the show, and I had fun doing that. That's out now, I think.
Okay.
You can look for that now, and I believe you can get a free 90-day trial with YouTube Red if you aren't a subscriber, so you can check it out. I did a day on a movie called Beautiful Boy with Steve Carell that will come out at some point, I'm guessing maybe during award season. And just finished up, did a few days work on The Bold and the Beautiful. I'm a soap opera star now, man. And for the resume, look at this. With this chin,
keep adding.
You're a soap opera star, huh?
I love it. All right, Mike. For fans maybe that aren't following you right now on social media, can you maybe plug your Twitter or any other social medias you have so fans can follow you?
I'm a little late to the game on my social media stuff, but I have Twitter and Instagram accounts. They're MPMCG80. So at MPMcG80 for both Twitter and Instagram, because I couldn't write out Michael Patrick McGill, it was too long.
Gotcha.
So
Nope, makes sense.
Condense it.
I like that. All right. And then fans, you can follow this YouTube channel at TV Autos 512, as well as on Facebook at TV Autos 512 Interviews, and on Twitter at Ty Boronski 10.
Make sure you follow, because Ty's a great interviewer. He's got some great interviews online.
Hey.
Check him out.
I appreciate that. Hey, Mike, anytime I'm in Wisconsin, I'm going to come visit you one day, so maybe we got to meet up one day.
Please do, man. We'll have some cheese curds, brother.
Hey.
In the meantime, good luck on your studies, and keep knocking it out of the park, bud.
I appreciate it, Mike. Thanks. And we'll be looking for your project right now on Shameless and Lifeline as well. Thanks, brother.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.